Welcome in to Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Hope you were off to a good start to your Monday. Had a great weekend. Thanks for kicking off your week with us. We have a fresh batch of very juicy Seattle Seahawks news and rumors to get to as we have details on what Geno Smith's new contract could look like. Also, the Seahawks had a visit with Anthony Richardson at the NFL Draft Combine, and things went pretty well. We'll get to all that and more in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, folks, we told you a couple days ago that throughout this next week, we are in the midst of a sub-battle with our 49ers channel and trying to see who can gain the most new subscribers. And right now, 49ers is beating us pretty good at this point, 320 to about 160. So do your part. Let's try to hang in there, at least be competitive, and don't let this thing get out of hand before the fourth quarter. Subscribe now for the latest news and rumors. We're getting ready for free agency. We're going to have fantastic coverage here on the channel next week. You'll want to stay tuned for that. Drafts coming up around the corner. This is the place to be if you love your Seattle Seahawks. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe for free today. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. So we have new details that emerged over the weekend on what this contract extension could be looking like for Geno Smith to keep him with the Seattle Seahawks. And all of this comes, remember, when we heard just a few days ago that the New York Jets had potential interest in Geno. Of course, we know about Dave Canales taking the OC job in Tampa, and they're looking for a new quarterback with Tom Brady gone. And so with that, let's start with Dan Graziano of ESPN, what he had to say, and then we'll have more from ESPN here in just a second. But here's the first quote from Graziano here. The Seattle Seahawks are working to sign quarterback Geno Smith to a long-term deal before free agency opens, but I'd be surprised if they use the franchise tag on Smith, even if they got to the Tuesday deadline without a deal. They like Smith, they want him back, but they also hold the number 5 pick in the draft and have been doing a lot of work on quarterback prospects at the top of the first round. More on quarterback prospects, in particular Anthony Richardson, later in the show. But here's what's interesting. The no franchise tag, the way I interpret that, that shows a lot of confidence in that the Seahawks believe in a deal with Geno Smith is going to get done, that they don't even have to worry about the franchise tag, and that things are moving in the right direction to get this deal done if you're not even concerned about using that franchise tag, that you have that confidence. That's how I interpret that as far as that goes. Now, to add to that, also in the same article was this quote from Jeremy Fowler on the situation. Here's what Fowler had to say. The potential Seahawks contract with Smith could be in the 3-year range and would aim to reward the QB for his excellent play while also helping Seattle manage its cap. With the tag deadline looming, Smith can wait for the Jones situation to shake out the quarterback market. The expectation is Seattle will be patient here, so while I expect the deal to be reached relatively soon, the Seahawks could slow play this a bit. Smith's best fit is Seattle, so both sides should be able to find common ground. So even if it's slow played a little bit of some sorts, everything we've heard, think about this, has been all positive on these contract negotiations. And that's not something that you can say about everybody that goes through contract talks. I mean, think about Baltimore right now. There's some trouble in paradise with that Lamar Jackson situation, okay? Everything we've heard is Geno Smith wants to be a Seattle Seahawk. The Seahawks want him back. And now these talks of not even needing a franchise tag potentially, a 3-year deal on the way, all of that sounds good to me. I'm looking into this as we read into the details of what's said. These reports that are coming out, it all sounds like this is headed in the right direction for Geno Smith to be in Seattle for this upcoming season, and that all parties are going to come together, that Geno's going to get a nice payday, and the Seahawks are going to move forward. To me, I like what I'm hearing from these reports and then what we've learned previously from this situation as far as things stand right now. So things seem to be pretty good. Our pinned comment today, will the Seahawks franchise Geno Smith? According to those reports, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Tag deadline's tomorrow, coming up in the afternoon. Is it going to happen or not? Let me know in the comments section. Y for yes, in for no, if Geno Smith will receive that franchise tag or not. Let us know. Y for yes, in for no. Let's shift gears now and talk about Anthony Richardson, one of the standouts of the NFL Draft Scouting Combine this past week in Indianapolis. And we learned over the weekend that the Seahawks, Pete Carroll and company, held a formal meeting with Anthony Richardson at the Combine. And the details of this situation are very interesting. And we heard from Anthony Richardson directly talk about Pete Carroll in the meeting that they had. Check this out, folks. This is Anthony Richardson on Pete Carroll directly. He had this big smile on his face. We shook hands, and something about it was just different. You only see these guys on TV, and now I'm in their presence, and they're right there talking to me, and they're interested in me. That makes you feel good. That's pretty fascinating. This sounds like the start of a love story, right? Now, that could end up in the result where Anthony Richardson is a member of the Seahawks. It might end up being where Pete Carroll just admires Anthony Richardson from afar, where he appreciates and recognizes how talented he is, and that doesn't guarantee that the Seahawks are going to draft him because they had a good meeting and that Pete Carroll had this affinity for Anthony Richardson, that things went well, that, from what that report was there, from what Anthony Richardson said, we don't draw a conclusion that this draft pick is just going to happen just based on that. But even with that said, to me, that is interesting to hear that things went so well, that Anthony Richardson had those things to say and went public about just the way he was treated by Pete Carroll. To me, that says a lot right there of where they feel about Anthony Richardson and how Anthony Richardson felt the way he was received by the Seahawks. To me, that is very, very interesting. More on this in just a second. Let's ask you this, though. Anthony Richardson, you want him in Seattle? Do you want the Seahawks to take the Florida quarterback? If you do, type D for draft. If not, type P for pass. Let us know in the comments section. Should the Seahawks draft Anthony Richardson or not? D for draft, P for pass. Let me know. Seahawks fans, it is the month of March, and it is a perfect time to be wearing a hoodie, and you might as well be representing your favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, in the process as well. You're in luck because we have hoodies that come in all shapes and sizes, variations of different colors, both men and women as well. We have everyone covered. We have the hoodie on sale just for you, and for a limited time, right now you can get these hoodies that you're seeing on your screen. Some of them are up to 50% off. It's a great deal that is available to all the 12s out there on sale right now at chatsports.com/Seahawks hoodie. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks hoodie. What are you waiting for? Get yours today, and you'll be looking sharp and representing your favorite team at the same time as well. Get yours now at chatsports.com/Seahawks hoodie. Now, I'll say this. When it comes to Anthony Richardson, and obviously he was the talk of the Combine, right? No one is disputing how great of an athlete Anthony Richardson is. He obviously caught the attention of the national media, and everybody out there was talking about Anthony Richardson, what he was able to do. But we kind of already knew a lot of these things about Anthony Richardson before going into this weekend. The problem at hand with Anthony Richardson remains the same, that he's not that accurate of a passer. That is, completion percentage was less than 54% this past year at Florida. That's still the biggest issue. But think about this. Just look at the numbers here, okay, from this past weekend. A 4.43 40 time. And he set the modern combine record for quarterbacks with a 40.5-inch vertical jump. Pretty impressive. Right now, Mel Kiper has the Seahawks projected to trade back and take Richardson at 9, but now there's even discussions. Just do a quick Google search, and you'll see people talking maybe the Seahawks should draft him at 5 potentially, is what's being thrown out there. Personally, I have my questions on Anthony Richardson. I have my doubts, especially of him as a passer, but there's no denying that he is a heck of an athlete. And I'll say this much. I hope that this doesn't come back to bite me years down the road. Maybe his future's not even at the quarterback position, quite frankly. But let's put it this way. I wouldn't be shocked, based on how the meetings went, And then still how things are going with Geno Smith with these contract talks that we told you earlier. We could live in a world where the Seahawks draft Anthony Richardson and re-sign Geno Smith. And think about this too. Anthony Richardson, for the reasons I mentioned of the questions about him as a passer right now. We know he's a great athlete, but not a great passer. What have we told you for the last couple of months? That Geno Smith has earned the right to be the starter next year. Anthony Richardson is not ready right now to start a game in the National Football League. Wherever he goes, he is going to have to be a backup and work his way and learn an NFL system and become a better passer before he becomes a starter. So this could be the situation Seattle likes. We've talked in the past about the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing that went on in Kansas City. This could be it for Seattle here. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the grand scheme of plans from Pete Carroll and John Schneider is to re-sign Geno, draft Anthony Richardson, do not even play him at all this year, maybe some wildcat packages of some sorts, and then potentially go to Richardson down the line here. That could be the plan. We'll see. So with that, our final question today, before we wrap up today's show, let's play the percentages. Scale this for me 1 through 100. What are the chances the Seahawks draft Anthony Richardson and re-sign Geno Smith? The two things that we talked about today, what are the percentage chances that both these things happen? Scale it for me 1 through 100. The percentage chance you think that both of these things occur for the Seattle Seahawks. Tell me in the comment section below. You can also interact with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. Just had an awesome weekend in Las Vegas, but hey, we're back to business here talking Seahawks on the channel and on social media as well. Got a big several days ahead leading to free agency. You want to stay tuned here. We got you covered here on Seahawks Today. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.